Whoa. My mouth is moving, while my head is moving as well. How is this possible? Well, today I'm going to show you how to achieve this face animation effect within Motion 5, so step right in and let's get started. So we have the easy, computer automated but less accurate way, and the time consuming but perfectly accurate manual way. We're gonna go with the latter first so that you understand what's happening in this effect, but trust me, it's a lot easier than you probably think. But before I start though, I want to throw in a disclaimer. I am not the first to do this effect. A long time ago, I got inspiration mainly from Waluigi58 and his Blockland lip sync test, as well as from Felipe1020's 2.5 Blockheads lip sync video. Icy Gamma also did it, but I can't seem to find his channel anymore. But anyway, yeah, all the credits and kudos to whoever figured it out before I did. Okay, so first, we start out with a voice to lip sync. Blockland is a game where you build stuff. Next, we need our video recording. There are some conditions to make sure that animating the face is going to be as hassle-free as possible. 1. You need a completely blank face to work with. It doesn't matter what color. 2. The face needs to be as clearly defined as possible. That means avoiding weird lighting and wearing helmets or hats that cover too much of the face. And 3. Record with a lower FPS. I highly recommend no more than 30 because you're going to be working very precisely on every single frame, and the lower the frame rate, the less work that you're going to have to do. For this demonstration, I'm just going to keep it simple. No hats, a little bit of head rotation, face is obscured for a brief second, comes back. That'll be good enough. Next, if you don't already have this from the first tutorial, download Felipe1020's Useful Edits. It is the perfect pack of faces for animation like this. You don't have to put it in your add-ons folder though, this is just for editing. Also find the default smiley face in the Blockland base files and copy and paste it into the Useful Edits folder for more convenience. We're going to open Motion now, and I'm going to be editing in 1080 pixels, 24 FPS. Let's drag in our Blockland recording. Next, we drag in our audio. You can line it up with the video however you want. I'll just put it right here. So like I said, we're going to do this effect manually for now so that you understand what's happening. Usually I animate the faces first before putting them on the character, so we're going to do that. I'm going to start with the smiley because he's a happy guy. He's very smiley. I'm going to make a group and put this smiley as well as all future faces for the animation in this folder so that it's more organized. Play back the video and figure out exactly when the voice begins speaking. Right here, and just leave this marker right here. So the first word is Blockland. The key here to lip syncing is mouthing out each word and figuring out the position of your mouth during certain parts of the word, and then finding the closest Blockland face to match with it. Blockland. My mouth is closed when I'm sounding out the B, so I'm gonna find a face with the mouth closed. Drag it in the group and place it right on this marker, then cut it off a few frames afterward. The next sound is O. Blockland. This is where things get a little bit fuzzy. When you sound it out, your tongue is at the roof of your mouth, but there is no face in the pack that has a tongue sticking up. So sometimes you're gonna have to improvise with the faces. In this case, I can pretend that his teeth are closed while he's pronouncing that part. I'm gonna put it in now. Alright, just keep adding syllables and matching it up with the video. Next is O, A, and then CK, K, O. Again, you might need to improvise. And Blockland. Adjust a couple things and let's see how this looks. Blockland is... Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna finish animating the rest of the voice now. Now the next step is to put our animated face onto the blank face on the recording. If you're following with another editor, there are two things that are required for this to work. First of all, you'll need a way to move an image's individual four corners like this. To do this in Motion, I use the Distort tool. Secondly, you will need a way to set keyframes. A brief explanation of that is this. You have one frame with certain settings, let's say a certain position and rotation, and another frame where those two are completely different. If you set those as keyframes, basically that's telling the computer to automatically transition from one frame settings to the others. Select the group so that all of the faces will change together. Beginning with the first frame, match the corners of your animated face to the face of the character. After that, I'm going to hit these diamond buttons to set keyframes for changing the positions of the four corners of the face. Okay, now I'm going to jump to the frame right before when he first moves. I'm going to press all the diamond buttons again to set keyframes because I want the position of the face to stay exactly the same for the duration that the character stays still. Because then otherwise, if I don't do this, and I just move on to matching the next face after he moves, then the face moves without him. This is just a convenient way to prevent that from happening. Now, I'm going to hit this record button in motion so that anything I change from now on will be limited to this frame that I'm on in the timeline, and it's going to automatically set keyframes for me. Then just move on to the next face and match it up. Just keep going frame by frame. Every now and then, I can hit play to see how it looks. Blockland is a game where you build stuff. Darn. I forgot to make a couple frames stay still, and I already did all this work. I want to undo all of it just so that I can fix this. Well, I don't have to undo all of it, I can fix this. I'm going to jump to the frame to when the character begins to stay still. I'm going to turn off record. I'm going to take a note of all the values that are in red, since those are the ones that are going to change. I'm going to then jump back to right before he moves again, hit all of those diamond buttons to set the keyframe. Then I'm going to type in all those values that I just wrote down. Now if I hit play again. Blockland is a game where you build stuff. Nice. Okay, keep going. Now we're at a part where their face is going to be completely obscured. You could probably just squish the face together, but sometimes it's still visible. I want it to be guaranteed gone. So I'm going to set a keyframe for something different. I'm going to go to the frame before the face disappears, and I'm going to hit the diamond for opacity, making sure that it's still at 100%. Then go to the next frame, hit diamond, and set it all the way to 0. Jump to the frame before he reappears, hit diamond while it's at 0, next frame, set it back to 100. You get the pattern now. Keep going. And we're done. Let's see how this looks. Blockland is a game where you build stuff. Cool. Face animation. You got it now. That's how I do it. Now you know why you shouldn't use high frame rates if you're wanting to do face animation because it takes ages. I did this in 24 frames per second, editing 24 frames individually for just 1 second of animation. Imagine doing 60. Well, depending on how powerful your video editor is, 60 frames per second might be feasible through the easy, automatic but not perfect way, using motion tracking. Alright, so new project. I'm gonna again use the distort tool to pin the face to the head. I'm gonna use this thing in motion called match move. If it's set to 4 corners, I'm able to set 4 points of reference so that the computer can track the changing positions of these corners automatically. All I have to do is drag the source material into this box and hit analyze. As you can see, it's generally accurate. It can definitely save a little bit of time. If I zoom in a little bit closer though, it's not absolutely perfect, so I can just fix these minor errors while I am in record mode. Cool. Most times though, I don't like using the motion tracking tool, usually because it has a mind of its own. I like doing it manually for this reason, but if you can get this thing to work and it's easier for you, then go for it. Alright, one more tip before I go. Let's say you're trying to animate a face, but the character has a hat on or something that just partially obscures the face. If you try to squish the face onto the area that's actually showing, it's going to be distorted. If you try to predict where the corners actually go, you're going to get inaccurate movement. Pretty simple fix to this, though it's possibly time consuming depending on how many faces you're going to use. The way I do it is I open an image editor like GIMP, set the dimensions to 256 by 256 since that is the size of every Blockland face. Then I drag in every face I'm going to use. I'm just going to drag in every face in here just in case. Next I'm going to add a face with a little more complexity so that I have a little better reference. Then I'm going to hide every face except that one. I'm going to put it on the bottom. I'm going to open Blockland and set my character's face to that same one. and figure out where exactly the image cuts off. You can just kind of look at every detail stuff in here, just kind of look up close. Jump back to GIMP, select the area that actually shows up on the character's face. You don't have to be pixel perfect here. Then crop to selection. Hide the reference face, and then one by one, show each face and export them individually, preferably into another folder for organization. Now when you go back and add your new cropped faces, they should fit perfectly onto the head, and you'll have better points of reference for matching the corners. Whew, okay, that was a long one, but now you know all about how I animate my faces and why it takes a long time to make videos like these. But with a little bit of dedication, the end result is always worth it. So, next tutorial is the last one that I have planned. It's going to be a bunch of filming tips that will hopefully make your shots look a little better. College is coming up scary fast, so this might be the last one. But if I have time, I will have a bunch of extra stuff to post. See you later.